Have you ever wondered why some families seem more closely related than others? Why your second cousin might look so much like your aunt, or why your family tree seems to loop back on itself in unexpected ways? Welcome, curious minds! We're about to dive into a fascinating concept that can help explain these mysteries: endogamy. So, what is endogamy? It's a fancy term that scientists use to describe a situation where people marry within their own group. This could be due to cultural, religious, or geographical reasons. Maybe a community is isolated by mountains or oceans, or perhaps there are strong cultural traditions that encourage marriages within the same group. Now, when people marry within their own group for generations, some interesting things can happen with their DNA. DNA, as you may know, is like the instruction manual that makes you, you. It's passed down from parents to children, and it's why you might have your mom's nose or your dad's eyes. But here's where it gets a bit tricky. When people from the same group marry each other for a long time, their DNA starts to look quite similar. Imagine a game of spot the difference, where the two pictures are almost identical. That's what it's like trying to tell apart the DNA of people from an endogamous group. This can pose a challenge for people trying to resolve their family connections using DNA tests. Usually, these tests can tell you how closely related you are to another person by looking at how much of your DNA you share. But in endogamous groups, people tend to share more DNA than usual because their ancestors have been marrying within the same group for generations. So, if you're trying to build your family tree using a DNA test, and you come from an endogamous group, you might find that everyone seems to be a close relative. It's like trying to untangle a knot of spaghetti. Where does one strand start and another end? But don't worry, it's not an impossible task. With a little patience and a lot of curiosity, you can work with endogamy to build an accurate family tree. Start by talking to your oldest relatives and gathering as much information as you can about your family history. Look for patterns and recurring names in your DNA matches. Remember, the goal is not to untangle the spaghetti, but to understand how the strands are connected. In conclusion, endogamy is a concept that explains why some families seem more closely related than others. It's the result of generations of marriages within the same group, leading to shared DNA that can make family connections appear closer than they really are. But with a little detective work, you can navigate the complex world of endogamy and build an accurate family tree. So, keep asking questions, keep exploring, and most importantly, keep being curious.